Hello and welcome to a CBK gaming review video. Today we are looking at Call to Adventure by Brotherwise Games. This is a competitive card game for between 1 and 4 players. It's a relatively quick game. I think it's taken us about half an hour for 2 players and actually just over that with 3 players, and I think about 45 minutes for 4 players. Each player creates a hero from the beginnings of their life, their origin story, all the way through to their final story. And you choose whether your hero is an anti-hero with some dark and emotional past, and or whether they are a stereotypical paladin of virtue.
Taking the righteous route.
Yes. So, what we have here is the Kickstarter variant without the expansion, which we will do later on, as we've only just received that. It was shipped in 2 stages. This copy also includes the neoprene mat, which I rather like. Yeah. So, looking as we do normally at the content, this is a smallish game. Yeah. You get a lot of cards, and the artwork is fantastic. Again, it's another one of those games which I really like the artwork. Yeah. And was originally something that drew me to this, just as the other games that we've reviewed and that we seem to be interested in and buy. The colour is fantastic. The colour on each of the cards as well. The print's very well done. You get a number of components. The unique part of this are the runes that you cast, and that determines whether you have successes and how many successes you get. And you can choose to incorporate in your casting of these runes dark magic. Now they come with the possibility of having multiple successes, but also gaining corruption, and corruption starts to lessen your potential victory points at the end of the game. So you get what you need for the game.
Yes.
The runes feel really good quality.
They do, and considering they are the equivalent of dice in another game, and they're very good quality and hard wearing as well, aren't they? They're going to take the time of.
There's something really nice about putting the runes in your hands and casting them on the table.
Yeah.
If you've got friends, as we do, that would throw them everywhere in a sort of scattergun approach, perhaps some sort of device to catch them, such as a nice dice tray, would be useful.
Yes. Yeah.
However, they do a fantastic job at what they are designed for, and content-wise, especially for the price point of this game. It wasn't a very expensive game to back. I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. Yeah.
Yes, I am as well. I mean, you're not overloaded with a huge deck of cards that you're not going to get through, you don't need. But at the same time, there's not too few. They've done the perfect amount that it keeps the game sort of continuing as you use the cards up.
We've played this almost 10 times, if not more, with different permutations of the cards, and each time they've been very different.
Yeah.
So, as I say, I consider the amount of cards to be right for the game. I'm intrigued to see what the expansion adds. That's going to add a new mechanic, and is taken from the Name of the Wind series of books. So that's going to be quite an interesting thing to look at. So quality, and what can I say? The runes, they're fantastic quality. Yeah. The card print, the cards themselves, they're they're quite thin.
They are.
They're nice. They do feel nice quality,
Yeah.
but I can see those becoming dog-eared and bent without being put in sleeves.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
again, with the same the anti-hero and the hero cards.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand them being so thin because you stack them up on your player board as you go along. So of course, if you've got thicker cards, you're going to end up with a sort of pile. So I can understand the thinness, but at the same time, yes, I can see over time corners are going to get caught. And
For longevity, I would sleeve them.
yes.
And it's something we need to look to do. And they're the tarot card size. Looking from the eco perspective, I would like to have seen, rather than some of the plastic used here, perhaps wood. Although the experienced gems wouldn't have worked as wood, I don't think. So perhaps glass or something akin to that. I'd like to see a reduction in the use of plastic in some of these board games. That's just a personal opinion. I'm not going to mark it down for that. So I think quality, again, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that. I can't really find much fault on it.
No, not at all. Okay, let's have a look at the complexity. And what can I say? This is a really easy game to learn.
Yeah, we picked it up within minutes of starting the first game. We were on a roll.
And all our friends have.
And there's just, yeah. And there's just a couple of bits of when you decide to go on a more difficult sort of quest journey. Mm-hmm. It's just a quick reference in the book to check which symbol you're going for and what it means, and carry on. There's
the rule. It's rules. I want to say rules light. There are rules there, but they're very easy to pick up. Once you've got them, you've got them. I think the rule book is very well made. It's very well written. It's comprehensive. It doesn't try to bamboozle you with any unusual rules or anything that you find frustrating.
And there is a set of cards, the adversaries, that you can take out to make it slightly easier when you're learning, and then add them in.
Tells you how to do that. Yeah,
tells you exactly how to do it, and to add them in later on when you're sort of more comfortable with it. It's really quick and easy to pick up.
I think I've got to give it a 10.
Yeah.
It is that easy to pick up. Replayability.
There is a lot of replayability in it because of the number of cards you get, therefore the variations. With the expansions, I mean, we'll have to wait to see when we open it up. I think you are going to get even more replayability then because of
I think it adds another 80
cards.
cards. Yeah.
But I think if you stayed with just this, I'd get worried that after 40 games, you might start getting a couple of bits with still the story would start going the same way a little bit. You might start differently, but end up on the same path, or vice versa.
Yeah.
But to have that happen sort of 30, 40 games in is quite impressive.
I think it's got a limitation.
Yeah.
This is the beginnings of creating a role-playing character.
Yeah.
a LARP character. And this is where I think this has got great potential for if you're a role player, if you're a LARPer, if you want to try and think of a story character, half an hour, you've got a background character. At the end of the game, you have all the pivotal moments in a character's background to create an interesting, developed character. It would be nice to see this move on into a role-playing game. It does feel like the beginnings of something bigger, grander.
I mean, that's what we've discussed. We've got a friend who does love running role-playing games, and we said to him, at some point, we'd love to sit down, play this for half an hour, and then take those characters into the game, because we had a pauper that had saved someone and then gone into the forest, beaten the thieves and ended up getting the gold, and you're sort of going, this whole backstory is beginning, I want to do something with it now. And I think he was quite interested in sort of doing that.
You have choices as well, which I really like.
Yes.
So there's a lot of the cards split, and you have what could be considered the hero's choices, and you've got the anti-hero's choices. And some of those choices make the game quite interesting. And
I mean, there's a good example there. You've got the street gang, and you can either outwit the gang boss, or you can take over the gang.
Yeah.
So do you want to be the good guy that wins and outwits the gang, or do you want to be the anti-hero that ends up running the gang? and it's choices like that, isn't it?
I think one of the fantastic things with this game is that at the end of the day, it is a set collection game. You collect sets of cards. You're looking to collect a certain amount of story cards, or you might have an objective where you have to collect X, Y, and Z. That gets lost in this story, and actually, I don't care if I win. I really don't. For me, it's what has my character done? How has that character come to life? And it tells that part of the story. I just think the limitation is it's the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
That there's a bit more I want to see, I want to be involved in. And it would be really good to see Brotherwise Games perhaps release another game where you take the character that you create in Call to Adventure into another role-playing game or something similar, story-driven game. So replayability, it's got to be a 7 for me. As much as I really enjoy it, and I'd heartily recommend it to somebody who was looking to create characters or finds it difficult to generate characters for role playing, or even they've done so much in role playing that they're not sure what to play. This is a fantastic way of actually just having a random character which you've had some thought behind what choices you've made in the cards and what you've seen in the cards.
Yes, I completely agree. I was going between a high 6 or a low 7, but I think, with expansions coming out, it's being supported. I'm going to say a 7 as well.
I just can't see how far more this can be supported. It's a game. Add the expansion for that particular set of stories. I wouldn't want to see anything more.
No.
Another game, perhaps.
Yes.
Where you use the character, but I don't want to see any more expansions for this.
Yeah.
So fun factor.
Well, we've enjoyed every single game we've played, and as you're saying, the different ways you can play it. I've played it once going for the win, trying to get as many points as I can, not caring about the story, and enjoying the story that I was told at the end, where I then read through the cards I collected. And then I've played it again, picking the cards that I want for the story that I want, not caring about the points. I've enjoyed both ways of playing. I have absolutely loved this.
It is a really good fun story, and as I said, I think if you enjoy storytelling games and you want something quick that's a bit of fun with your friends, this is something that does fill that role in your collection. So fun factor to me, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
I was going to say a 9.
Okay.
I really enjoy it, and I love seeing how this character just sort of expands as you play. You are becoming this character. I enjoy it. Yeah.
So, taking into consideration all of that, what is the overall score for you?
I'm going to say an 8, because I do really enjoy it, but again, as we've said, you want it to go further, and that next step after this game isn't there yet. But for playing this game, I do really enjoy building up the character, and it does it because we do role playing. It gives me lots of ideas for different characters that I want to play, and sort of sometimes you're not sure on how to do a backstory, and I think this is great for actually doing that. You get a backstory to a character, not just build up who they are, but why they're that character. Right.
I agree with you, and it's for that reason that I would actually give this a 7 out of 10 overall, simply because I can see its limitation. I do really enjoy playing it. it's not a game that I could sit down and play back to back in the same way that I could play Village Attacks or some of those other games that we've recently reviewed, and we have played back to back.
Yeah.
But I think this is, as I say, to re-emphasise, it's a great game for people that want to generate a character for role-playing. It's a great game to just tell a quick story. I think it could be a very good gateway game to a card game like this, because it's really easy to learn. You tell a story and everybody has a laugh at the end when they're looking at their character, working out what their character's done, what they've become. So yeah, I think overall
I also think from a family point of view, getting the teenagers to play this, for them it gets their creativity going, and if they've then got to, with homework, they've got to create a story or something, this I think could be a good starter as well. Get your character built up, and it teaches how to think about a backstory to characters, how to build up their motivation, where they're going to go, and then you could sort of play this with the family, and then the kids sit down and write a story of what happens to the characters you've just created, and it's a whole family involving thing. I think it's a really good family fun game.
Actually, as much as I said I wouldn't like to see any other expansions, perhaps one that would be really good for the role-playing community would be a D&D expansion. So you put all the races in and put all sort of the character classes and everything else. That could be a good way to link in with the D&D franchise. But other than that, no, overall, fantastic game. So once again, thank you for watching. We do really appreciate everybody's support. So if you did enjoy this, please consider subscribing to our channel. Consider leaving a like on the video. We really do appreciate all the support and kind words that we've had as well, of encouragement. If there's any games you'd like to see us review, please let us know. We've got a couple of reviews still being worked on. One of them's going to be Gloomhaven. The game that I completely forgot on the last review was Museum. We're going to be reviewing Museum very shortly. It's a game that, well, it's no secret that we really enjoy it. It's just how does it actually stack up in terms of our review process. So that's Gloomhaven, Museum, the Mansions of Madness expansion that's coming out, and the Arkham Horror expansion that are coming out. And in the near future, we do need to play a few more games of it. We'll be looking at U-Boat, which we want to play more of it. That we've played a considerable amount of it, but we need to play more to get every nuance of that game. There is so much to learn.
Much to it,
we could not justify a review without putting a lot more hours into that game. And it's not the sort of game that you can just sit down and play in an evening. It's the sort of game you want to sit down and play on a day. It's a 7, 8, 9, 10 hour game playthrough. So okay, thank you very much. And as we say, leave a comment below if you've got anything you want us to consider. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.